Hello and welcome to Mind Shifters Radio. I'm Tim Hayes. I'm your host for the first hour. And today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. As always, we're grateful to everyone who's joining us here today, whether you're listening live or through the archives, as we spend another couple of hours teaching and supporting people in using some of the most powerful, effective, efficient, and accessible tools I've ever encountered. These tools are available absolutely free through the tireless efforts of Dr. Michael and Jeanie Ryce on the website at whyagain.org. If you go to that website and click on the two words that say Start Here in the upper left-hand corner, it will take you to a page where you can download and read Chapter 24 of Dr. Michael Ryce's book. His book is titled, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? And that chapter of the book contains a narrative description and explanation of the primary tool in this work. That tool is called the Reality Management Worksheet, sometimes called the Reality Management Wake-Up Sheet. And it's a tool I've been using to great effect for over 20 years now to improve the quality of my life and most of my relationships, and to turn any negative emotional experience I have into part of the infallible guidance system that each and every one of us has been given. You can also download the actual worksheet process itself. It's a simple PDF file. Click the link, download it, print it off, copy it as often as you'd like, and use it over and over again absolutely free. You can also download from that web page a host of audio files of shows just like this one, where people have been stepped through that worksheet process. And if you choose to listen to them even repeatedly, they can serve as a powerful tutorial for you to help you get maximum benefit from these tools in the shortest amount of time possible. We greatly appreciate whenever anybody does that, primarily because it tends to improve the quality of people's lives the more they actively apply these tools in their lives, and secondarily because it tends to prompt comments, questions, answers, and testimonials. If you have any of those to share with us, we'd greatly appreciate you doing so. You can email me at tjh@mindshifters-academy.org, or you can email Jeanie at jeanie@whyagain.org. That's whyagain.org. And if we get a question or a comment from you through an email, we'll address it on the internet show, and then as time allows, send you a notification about what day and time that occurred, so you can listen back to the archives for your feedback or input. And if you're listening to us on live.needle.com, we're glad you're here and glad you're choosing to spend some time with us. However, from that venue, you're not able to type in a comment or talk to us voice to voice. To do that, you'd need to get to your app store and type in Needle, N-E-D-L, and then download the AI Tuner for Live Radio. Open it, sign in, answer some questions, and that would give you the option to type in a comment or talk to us voice to voice. And again, that makes it much, much easier for us to live into our intention with this work. The intention we have with this work is to be of service, and that's infinitely easier to do when we know how these things are landing for you. So please feel free to comment, question, ask for support in using the tools. Let us know how these readings with commentary are resonating for you, and we will be appreciative, and we will do what we can to continue to put more energy in the direction that you find most useful. I like to tell people that the highlight shows, those shows that have been curated out over the years as being identified by someone, various people, but those that have been identified as just a highlight show, you should play this again or put this in a special place on your website. They are almost exclusively the result of people just like you calling and asking a question. So please feel free to do that. and let us know how we can support you and help us increase the odds that today's show will be of highlight quality, at least in someone's eyes. I've been reading through the list of essays from the book A Walk in the Physical, and one of the theme titles is Challenge as a Gift. And where we left off, we had just read the essay titled Fear as a Sign of Potential Expansion. And there are two more essays to read in that theme. And the next one is titled Hardship is a Gift. And Christian writes, a challenge is a gift. When the individual is challenged by circumstance, the opportunity for the spirit to apply itself and expand through that experience is a gift. It's not that hardship itself is good, but rather it is a neutral, and he puts in parentheses, even if painful, close parentheses. It's a neutral catalyst that can be useful. The ego may reject this. The ego may see hardship as simply terrible and negative. However, nothing terrible and negative arises that the spirit cannot ultimately use. There is nothing greater than, quote, all that is, close quotes. Therefore, nothing can arise within it that is not of meaning. Even hardship, and often especially hardship, ultimately has great value in the churning processes of manifest creation, which ultimately serve the expansion of everlasting joy. To the immortal and all-powerful spirit, challenge is a precious opportunity to bring virtue to bear, to expand and actualize the depths of one's own love and light in a real lasting way. We are spirit first and human second. The challenges of the secondary human experience are often worth the temporary price to the bold spirit who knows the truth of immortality and wishes to expand itself and the joy of all that is, expand it forever. In what ways is the world pushing you, painfully, to let go of your fear and ego? In what ways is the world compelling you to embrace your joy, to live your truth, and share your love? What is the hardship of your life teaching you? What is the pain of your story saying? If you listen deeply, beneath all the labels and deeper spirit, your deeper spirit is always there, ready to help you utilize whatever the current circumstance is and use it for lasting purposes that may far exceed your human mind and what it can imagine. So there's another level at which the old adage, fear not, fear not, fear not, can come into play. Even though my ego is fearful, even though I'm in what we might experience as physical pain, it's not meaningless. It will, in a bigger picture and a greater context, have tremendous value. And then this last essay in that grouping is titled, Becoming Comfortable with Uncertainty. Now, I understand we've read this before because some of these essays show up in more than one category at a time, or grouping of things, essays into themes. So here's the essay titled, Becoming Comfortable with Uncertainty. And again, it starts with the quote by Eckhart Tolle, Become at ease with the state of not knowing. This takes you beyond mind because the mind is always trying to conclude and interpret. The mind is afraid of not knowing. So when you can be at ease with not knowing, in that moment you've already gone beyond the mind. A deeper knowing that is non-conceptual then arises out of that state. And so non-conceptual, I would use the word experiential. Christian goes on, in its desperate striving for control, the ego hates uncertainty. Because we have fear and ego, we hate uncertainty. But the uncertainty that can occur within this veiled experience of this rigorous physical universe is actually taking place within the larger context of spirit. The larger context of spirit is built on the law of love. Therefore, even when great uncertainty arises, we need not fear it. We are always in love's care. There's no place you can go. There's no one you can ever see. There's nothing you can ever do that will take you outside of love's care. Christian writes, uncertainty is an opportunity. As it arises, it provides valuable counter-pressure that can allow a person to face and feel the real fear that is within. There is no fear. There is no shame in feeling fear when our physical life or our stability is threatened. Even acknowledging that we feel it and allowing it to arise clearly, that in itself is a step toward integrating it and healing it forever. While uncertainty may evoke the fear of lack of control, in parentheses he writes, the perception of powerlessness. Now, close parentheses. The reason that says the perception of powerlessness is because you're never without your power. You're never defeated. You're never less than you were created to be. So uncertainty generates this fear of lack of control, but it's a perceived lack of control. It's not an actual lack of control. And even that perceived lack of control is an opportunity. Your power lies in accepting powerlessness when that acceptance is not just an idea, but a deep personal surrender. That is when true power is regained. The process of becoming comfortable with uncertainty may not be a swift one, but that is okay, since every step toward conquering fear is accomplishing real work. It can potentially take many moments or many lifetimes to face and heal our deeper fears. Yet we need not be daunted by the scope, for there is immeasurable power in this present moment. What uncertainty is arising in this present moment for you that you could take a look at? Whatever it is, just be here with it. Listen to your deepest heart and meet it as truly as you can. Feel the fear, but don't fear the fear. Do not fear. It is how the play on the earthly stage is arising for you at this time. Your inalienable power to choose has never been removed, and it will never be removed. Make a choice from love, courage, honesty, and allowance rather than from fear. The circumstances do not have to land in a certain way for you to be free, or for you to be you. Spirit is with you. Indeed, the very source of all things is with you right now. In that, truly, what is there to fear? In the recognition that you can't ever be separated from your source, what's there to fear? And what is this fear? This fear is this questioning uncertainty, this fear that arises from trying to pretend that what's true isn't true. What's true is that you cannot be separated from your source. What's true is that this thing that humans have labeled as horrible and a problem, this thing they call death, is not what they call it. It's just a transition from one state of being to another. As Way of Mastery says at one point, would you get upset if somebody you love is in the house with you and they walk out of the room you're in and they walk into another room in the house? No, of course not, because you know they're still there. And the Way of Mastery says, in that very real way, people you've known who have been walking around in an animated body, their essence is still there even after the body dies. So that is all 12 essays under the heading Challenge as a Gift. And we have a variety of other themes that we can explore, working backwards on the list. One theme is titled Your True Identity. Another one is titled You and We Cannot Truly Fail. Another one is titled You Are Already There. Feel free to type in a comment if one of these resonates with you and you would like us to read that category next. Joy as native to consciousness. Playfulness over seriousness. The importance of acceptance. You are always accepted. Oh, there's just too many of these that are jumping out at me. So I'm going to, in lieu of somebody chiming in, I'm going to start reading from the category playfulness over seriousness. And this is because it's speaking to me in this moment. It's a very, for me, it's a powerful theme in the Way of Mastery, as we've read that at least twice now on this internet show over the years with commentary. And the Way of Mastery is frequently reminding us that the mind of the Creator is playful, is joyful, is full of joy and love and playfulness. And you are connected to that mind at all times. So here's playfulness, and at one point in time, the Way of Mastery says, please don't let seriousness enter the mind. So here we are under the category theme, playfulness over seriousness. The first essay in that list is titled, Do Not Take Life So Seriously. No one makes it out alive. And the essay from Christian is as follows. Creation is a phenomenon rooted in joy. However, sometimes we do not experience physical life that way. When we adopt the veil, the forgetfulness, the amnesia, and we become physical, we become bound to this reality's rule set. That rule set includes having a body and having to meet all its physical needs. We need things to protect us, shelter us, feed us. Since the objects needed to do so are physically important to us for our survival and our ability to live full lives, the control of objects, even by force, is constantly encouraged. The species that populate the earth have evolved over millennia in this, quote, kill or be killed, close quote, physical environment, constantly seeking to take from one another for their own survival. And in our own lives, there isn't a day that we don't experience the effects of that struggle. For even amongst our own kind, we are constantly involved in a struggle for the control of limited resources, parentheses, often in the form of money, close parentheses. Sometimes we're even involved in a struggle for survival itself. That entire experience can lead us to take things very seriously. Indeed, just the concept of one's own body dying alone can seem like a very somber problem indeed. From the perspective of immortal, invincible spirit, The opportunity to experience such a messy, tough environment is a treasure. The decision to engage in such an experience is not done out of seriousness, but rather out of incredible excitement and joy. Every one of us knew the challenge we signed up for before we came. We knew that we were coming to a place where we would one day die. What joy we felt at the opportunity. For despite how serious the situation may appear on this unrelenting physical surface, such an experience is a most incredibly precious opportunity indeed. Now that might sound untenable or perhaps even masochistic, but in fact, as creators, it is we who have interpreted our experience here in that serious way. We have created this world and its perceptions. It can be very liberating to be reminded, if we dare, that none of our creation needs to be feared or taken too seriously. Way of Mastery has an entire segment about the necessity for us, if we want to move forward, to be in touch with what truly is, to recognize that we are creators. We're creators of our experience, and we like to claim credit for creating something when it's something we like. And we don't want to claim responsibility for creating something when it's something we don't prefer. So, which way is up? Am I a positive, effective creator of my life experience or not? And so, it gives a number of examples. One of them is that, we plant a garden and then everything in the garden dies. And most of us want to go blame the person who sold us the seed or sold us the fertilizer or the bad rake or whatever it is, blame anything except our own creatorship. And Way of Mastery says, why not just stand there, acknowledge, well, this is my creation. Okay, well, I might as well move on because I'm not going to get any food from this place right now. Let me go to the market where I can buy something to sustain the body. And do it joyfully, playfully. You spill your coffee, instead of swearing, you chuckle. I don't, 20, 25 years ago, if somebody had told me that that was a possibility, I would have thought they were crazy. And yet it happens to me on a regular basis that I fumble with utensils, or I spill some of whatever I'm drinking, or I drop a plate and it shatters, and I just chuckle these days because it's no big deal. Even if the plate is some heirloom that's been in the family for 17 generations, it's just not a big deal from the perspective of this deeper spiritual truth. None of our creation needs to be feared or taken too seriously. Christian goes on and says, in fact, there's nothing you absolutely have to do. Well, Way of Mastery has a whole segment about this. You need do nothing. Christian writes, there is nothing you absolutely have to do. If you feel there is, it's because you've chosen to buy into that belief for one reason or another. You may have bought into various beliefs and interpretations that lead you to feel that you must do this or do that. And that's a valuable experience to have, and yet none of it is fundamental. Fundamentally, you are free, joyful awareness. You are awareness. You are consciousness. You are spirit, having a physical experience. Fundamentally, you cannot be harmed and you cannot die. Fundamentally, you are more than all of the things in your mind, in your life, and even in your imagination. Fundamentally, you need nothing. Even if you die, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's the end of this myopic physical experience. It's the end of these extenuating constraint sets. It's the end of a game. And it's the opening back up to the awareness of your true nature and your connection to the source of all life and your connection to all other minds with which you can communicate beyond what you can understand about communication in this moment from the physical realm. So Christian goes on and writes, so kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Play the game of life with the carefree joy that is still yours, deep beneath all the weight of your human identity. What's the worst that could happen? Well, you could die. Yeah, but we all end up dying. Unless you want to subscribe to the idea that you are the body and you need the body, and in which case you're not so willing to choose playfulness over seriousness, as this article would suggest. The next essay in that theme of playfulness over seriousness is titled Choose Joy. Choose joy. We are not here to struggle. We are merely here to thrive and have joy. We are not here to merely survive. We are here to thrive as beings of joy that we truly are. But sometimes what we perceive to be the demands of the world cause us to fall into seriousness. Our worldview requires things of us, and in heeding them, we quickly get bogged down by the responsibilities that we have heaped upon ourselves. None of it is required. None of the seriousness, heaviness, or stress is required. At the most fundamental level, nothing is required of us, for awareness itself is perfectly free. And in fact, awareness fully transcends the forms that it allows itself to get lost within. Thus, while you are here on earth, allow yourself to let go and to choose joy. There is never a circumstance in which you are not allowed to choose joy, should you so wish. And it keeps coming to me to hearken back to the Bill Hicks writing about life as a carnival ride. And I've read it a number of times before. And essentially, life is just a ride. Bill Hicks writes, the world is like a ride at an amusement park. And when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills. It's very brightly colored and it's very loud. And it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they've begun to question, is this real or is it just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they've come back to us and they say, hey, don't worry. Don't be afraid ever, because it's just a ride. And we kill those people. Hey, shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Hey, look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account. Look at my family. This has to be real. But it's just a ride. And we always kill the good guys that try to tell us that. Have you ever noticed that? And then we let the demons run amok. But it doesn't matter, because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, and close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it on feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would do many times over, not one human being excluded. And then we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. It's just a ride. It's a choice, moment to moment, between fear and love. Here's hoping you have heard over and over again from your spiritual teachers. Choose love over fear. This is why Diederik Wolzak says, choose again, as the title of his book. Choose for love every moment. Choose joy over suffering. That last little paragraph says, thus, while you are here on earth, allow yourself to let go and to choose joy. There is never a circumstance in which you are not allowed to choose joy, should you so wish. And for whatever reason, there's a variety of factors going on right now. It's just about 3 years since my mother passed, and I just flashed on the privilege, the honor, and the joy, literal joy there was in my being able to assist her through the last portion of her life, and the gift of being able to be there for her last breath. And just writing that I get to be there. I get to have an input. I get to be a loving presence as we're negotiating. Okay, mom's in so much pain, and mom's having difficulty breathing, and mom's not eating food, and the body's really just shutting down. And so I had the gift of being able to be a contributor to that process. And it wasn't always easy to sort out whose personality and ego is getting offended and who's upset about this or that. It wasn't easy to navigate all the details of the hospice and the timing for who can be here when. And yet it was a gift. It was something that I found tremendously rewarding. And in order to do that at a certain level, whether I was conscious of it moment to moment or not, I was choosing playfulness over seriousness. And that's the title of this theme of these essays, this grouping of essays. And the third essay in that is titled The Playground and the Classroom. And Christian writes, our experience here is born in the spirit of play. Our true nature is one that is completely free, unlimited, creative, and powerful. It is from that true state that we decide to ultimately express ourselves here in the physical experience. And yet, here on earth, we often go through experiences that seem far from playful. We are engaged by what seem to be the hard constraints or hard rules of our world. A knife will always cut. Resources will always be finite. And the body will always die. Indeed, there is profound growth opportunity available to the spirit when it is, quote, forced, close quotes, he puts in parentheses, apparently forced, close quotes, when it is forced to face these hard constraints. Such experiences help us experientially learn, grow, integrate, expand. We learn how to deal with circumstances. We learn how to make choices. We even learn more about who we are. Even through and beyond our local reality, there are spiritual laws in place that help guide us through growth. These laws and that guidance for growth is beneficial for us. And sometimes that process can be extremely painful. So is life more like a playground or a classroom? The following two statements are both true, and they do not contradict each other. The first one is, nothing is required of us. The universe is born out of a desire to play, to exercise our great creative natures in a unique way just for the sake of doing so. The second statement, which does not contradict the first, the second statement reads, there is meaning and value in integrating challenging experiences and adding to creation. Sometimes these things we call the, quote, spiritual laws, close quotes, that are in place, they end up guiding us through what seem to be very difficult experiences simply for the sake of growth. The classroom is the playground. It's not one or the other. The classroom is the playground. Even when you are in class, you can play. No matter what circumstance you find yourself in, your true nature remains unharmed and shining and joyful. And when you can fully let go of the burden you've assigned to your assignment and get in touch with and express that ever-abiding true nature, often the lesson is ended, and you can now be full of even more joy than you were before you playfully went to class, so to speak. Playfully going to class means coming to the physical, moving from the non-physical state of pure awareness, pure consciousness, and withdrawing much of your awareness from endless, boundless expanses of creation and just focus it on one human physical body. This is the classroom, and this is why we are free to choose playfulness over seriousness. Again, a quick reminder, feel free to type a comment or raise a hand or tap the phone icon to get put in the queue to speak to me directly. And in lieu of anybody doing that, I'll return to the fourth essay in this series, titled Your Soul's Job. Playfulness over seriousness is the category heading, and this essay is titled Your Soul's Job. The soul's job is the joy of being, all caps, joy of being. That's your job. There's nothing else required of the soul. It only needs to exist and then flourish and extend the beauty and bliss of that existence in a multitude of ways. We are bold in how we create. We are so bold that we have embarked upon this great journey of the human condition. We are so free and so powerful and so loved that we have decided to exercise our beingness to new depths by experiencing almost complete separation from Source and from each other. And now that we're here, most of us have come to take this experience quite seriously. However, beneath the seriousness and the pain, the soul has no restrictions, no requirements, and no hardship. The soul is free in love, capital L, love. The soul ever burns with the joy and bliss of being. You are soul, so that is true of you. You do not need to fret or fear. You need only be. Your only job is to exist in the radiant joy of what you are, and to share that joy richly with all other parts of the one mind, of the one being, of the one consciousness. Your job then is to exist, to experience joy, and to love. There are no other true requirements of you. And when your mind says otherwise, be brave and bold enough to find the beliefs you're holding that prove that to you and see them as false. Those beliefs are, in an ultimate sense, untrue. Yes, we must strive to do our part in our local world in a practical way, to care for those who need us and to perform the many daily actions of life. And that can be done through the freedom of being what is already ours, and not only as a struggle against the weight of responsibility. Any belief in shame or fear or powerlessness is ultimately untrue. It's only when we buy into the illusions of those perceptions, when we wrap our true selves up in those negative beliefs and self-perceptions, it's only then that we, because of those beliefs, feel that something is required of us to return to wholeness. We never left. Our true job never changed. The joy of being is all that we must do. And even as we perform our many meaningful roles in the human drama, the isness that we are dwells firmly in joy, beneath all the requirements that our local self may have put on it. Again, as I read this, I know we've read it before. It comes up in a couple of these groupings. It reminds me of what we were reading from the Butterflies Are Free to Fly book and Stephen Davis's mental creation of the idea that we have an infinite I. Each of us has an infinite I. And we are intimately connected to that infinite I. And that infinite I, all it wants of us is to just be here in the physical experience. And as we go through the ups and downs of life, the joys, the sadnesses, the pains, the fears, the hurts, the confusions, the laughter, it gets to experience that vicariously through us. And as the Way of Mastery says so clearly, you've never failed. You can't ever be separated from your source. You can't ever be a disappointment. You can't ever know death and loss. There's a list of 9 statements at the beginning of the 21st lesson in the Way of Mastery. And what it recommends is that we turn this into what Michael Ryce would call a mind shifter, only instead of doing it for an hour or two, the Way of Mastery says, why don't you do this for a week at a time? Take one of these, take 9 weeks, write one of these statements at the top of a sheet of paper, and then pull it out whenever you think about it during the day, and just read it and then respond to it. Let any part of you that wants to argue against this spill out on the paper. Because these statements from the Way of Mastery, it says these are the truth. So actively engage in a process to uncover every part of you that wants to argue against this, because those are the false beliefs you're holding. Those are the things that make it more difficult for you to choose joy over fear. And these 9 statements are as follows. Number 1, it is not possible for you to be without love, capital L, love. It's the stuff you're made of. Everything is made of this. You're connected to everything. It's impossible for you to be without love. Number 2, it is not possible for you to be alone. We have created this false belief that we are separate and separated from everyone and everything. Michael Ryce likes to quote the Einstein quote. He modifies it and he paraphrases it. If you think you're separate or separated from anyone or anything, you're living in an optical delusion. That delusion creates this experience of specialness, a special affection for certain people and things closest to you. The problem is that special affection creates a prison for you. And the only way out of that prison, according to Einstein, is to extend that special affection that you have for a few people and things close to you, extend that to everyone and all of creation. And there the prison is dissolved. The third statement here from the Way of Mastery Lesson 21 reads, it's not possible for you to taste death. Well, in Lesson 4 it says, if somebody asks you who you are, tell them, I am infinite and eternal. I've never been born and I will never taste death. I shine forth as a sunbeam to the sun. I am the effect of the Creator's love, and I stand before you to extend that love to you. The fifth statement is, it is not possible for you to taste genuine loss. The sixth one reads, it's not possible for you to suffer the dream of separation. You can have the dream, you can create this experience, and yet you don't need to stay in the dream state. It's not truly that you're ever separated. The next statement, number 6, it's not possible for you to be apart from your Creator. Number 7, it's not possible for you to fail. Number 8, it's not possible for you to harm anyone or anything. Just as your true nature can't be chipped, dented, rusted, faded, or broken in any way, neither can anyone else. Number 9, it's not possible for you to be guilty of sin. Imagine that. Imagine that there is a way to look at every negative thought and belief I have as false. We never left, and our true job never changed. The joy of being is all that we must do, and even as we perform our many meaningful roles in the human drama, the isness that we are dwells firmly in joy beneath all the requirements that the local self may have placed on it. So I am making an effort to turn on the microphone for Susan Bingham.
Hi, Dr. Tim.
Welcome.
Hey, I thought it wasn't working. I was just about to try the comments department because I didn't think the queue was working. It didn't look the same. Anyway, okay. I think if any of us took any one of those, we would spend the rest of our lives writing down rebuttals and complaints and beating ourselves against the wall. Those are wild. So I have a question. I've been doing this sentence completion thing, and my intellect goes a lot ahead of everything else. So I understand, and I want to operate from the point of view that my sister is innocent. She didn't know what she was doing on an ultimate level. And I could see her as innocent and treat her kindly, and I've been doing that for years. Part of me is held back from her, though. It's like I've got an invisible wall. I feel as if I would break that wall down. I wouldn't know how to be with her because it would be destructive, or I would run. I would feel as if she's going to contaminate me, as if I'm so pure. I mean, I don't even want to have any physical contact with her because there's something, I feel this revulsion. And yet we always hug each other. We kiss each other when we meet. We go through all the stuff, and I can keep doing that right up until I croak. But I still cannot, in a practical way, I don't know how to be with her, other than the faking of it. I don't know how to be real. And the only way I can imagine being real is if I say, I learned this from Jonathan, and I want to talk to you about it. I want to hear from your point of view. I need to find a way to you that involves telling the truth. And I haven't done that. And he hasn't done that. That's the practical thing. Is that something you would recommend doing? Is that necessary?
No, I wouldn't recommend doing it because it's still the focus on something outside of you has to change, right? There's
Yeah, it is.
something deep inside you that's full of revulsion for yourself. And no amount of your wanting your sister to change or say or do something differently is going to change that. You have to go inside yourself, like each and every one of us does, and dismantle the parts of you that think there's something ugly and gross. And
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I get it. All right. So
you're not able to be there in your physical body and tap into this conscious awareness of your true nature as the extension of love and form. And whatever blocks you from that is your work to dismantle. Whatever you're holding on to that blocks your awareness of that should be job one for you. And whether it's because you don't think your music is good enough, or you don't think your body looks attractive enough, or because you don't think your soul is pure enough, whatever it is, it's false.
yeah, and I have a lot of stories that have come out of this sentence completion thing. Like one day my mother said to my sister, you know, I love you, but I don't like you. And I thought, I want her to like me. So I've got to be different from my sister in every possible way. And I have to align with my mother against my sister, or that's not a good scene either. So I'm aligning with my mother, even though I know she was very mistaken on how she treated us when she was in her power person, which is what it was. There were lots of loving things that went on otherwise. So
Your task is no different than any other. It's that we
yeah,
have to go inside ourselves and search for, find, and then dismantle any blockage to being aware of ourselves as love.
okay.
This is what the Way of Mastery says. This is what the Course in Miracles says. This is what, Byron Katie gets at when she says, I only suffer when I believe my negative thoughts. I can have all kinds of negative thoughts, but if I don't treat them as though they're the truth in some ultimate way, then I don't generate the pain or the fear or the sadness from it.
And you're not talking about a feeling of loving myself.
No, I'm talking about understanding your true nature, and then
Okay.
the feeling flows. Like, Guy Finley likes to talk about being out in nature because he's been living out in Northern California or Southern Oregon for so long. And so you're hiking on a trail and you turn the corner and you see this breathtaking, landscape open up, and there's a waterfall, and it just takes your breath away. And you have this indescribable rush of sensation. That's what happens when you get directly in touch with your true nature, without all of these bushel baskets and false beliefs and lies and trauma memories, etc. You're not going to need to work on feeling anything. The feeling will arise.
The only way I can relate to that is that time I had a vision or dream that was so pervasive that for 3 days I didn't feel love for myself. It wouldn't even require those words. it was as if I was immersed in love, outside and in. I had kind of become something different, kind of merged into something that was totally acceptable and free and at peace. And it was both outgoing and inside. But that dissipated. But I wouldn't say, even what you said about if you have a special relationship or whatever words you used, you have to spread that to everybody.
Well, it's just that it's not that you have to. It's just that when you restrict it to a few people and situations or things closest to you, you create a prison for yourself. That joy, that bliss state, that appreciation for the gift of life is natural
Mm-hmm.
and can come unbidden to anybody who's not distracted by the negativity of their conditioning and their training, etc.
Mm.
And
Okay.
that's the goal, is to undo the negativity of the conditioning and the training and the experiences and the traumas of life. Not go out and create love, not go out and create that loving feeling.
Mm.
Just remove the blockages to your direct experience of it. It's already in you. And before we run out of time, Brett said in the comments here, thank you so much, Susan. I've been thinking about that for too long in reference to my brother. The exact same thing.
Oh boy.
Both of you, thank you.
Oh, brother. Well, Dr. Tim, I realize that you're struggling to, or maybe you're not struggling, but you're putting words as best you can to something indescribable. And I got really nosy. I wanted to say, have you done that? Have you had moments of that? Do you spend most of your time in that state?
You mean the state of bliss and joy? And
Right, and feeling equal love for everyone.
no, I spend more of my time consciously looking for the judgments that I have come to understand bubble up unbidden, and then I just chuckle at them and move
Now,
on.
there you go. That I could do. I do that already. Tons of that. I do it. It's a mode of operation. So that's great. Oh, that's good. It's like turning toward the stuff you can manage, and the result will come from doing that. You don't have
All the other stuff is already there and happening.
to.
And all I have to do is look for, acknowledge, and then see as false what is less than that loving, gratitude-based
Yeah.
experience of joy.
Hmm.
So I will thank you for your call, and I will end this so that Michael and Jeanie have a time to get on the call. Thank you again, as always, Susan, for your work and for calling to the show. I will remind us all that we come from love. We're made of the stuff we call love. We actually are love, and everything else is false. This is a Tuesday. There'll be a support group tonight. If you want to join us, go to the mindshiftersacademy.org website. Blessings.